I get excited when I talk about this because I love history, and this site brings together the important features of the history of this area. Huntington itself and the area around Huntington and the state of Indiana. It was a dream early on of a newspaperman called Luke Shear, and Luke acquired the Richardville home, which was the home of the last two Miami chiefs that lived in this area, and he saved it from destruction. And then a group in the high school under the leadership of Jean Gurnon took up the banner and provided money and sweat and tears to bring the house into a decent shape. And it was used for some field trips at that time, and they also raised some money. We realized that this site could be used for interpretation of history, and so we formed a board so that we could receive money, not-for-profit money, from the state and from the city and from private citizens, which would be tax deductible and beneficial to us. Then we formed this board of many local citizens who were interested, who have various talents, and from there we began to preserve and authenticate this site, making sure that the history that we present here is accurate.
The majority of the volunteers out here are retired teachers. They started doing fourth grade tours here, just for locally, the different schools here in Huntington County. And they set up a plan, they had a plan, and several teachers, I'm not sure, Sylvia actually was one of them, Sylvia Mills, and she had several people helping figure out how they wanted to tell the early history of Huntington County.
We have 5 houses now that are part of the interpretation. Not only the Chief Richardville House, which we had restored by a historic architect, but also the Interpretive Center here, which we use to interpret 2 school children and 2 adults as well, the early history in the various parts.
We have interpreters for each station. We have the schoolhouse that the children used to go to school. It's called a Blab School. We also have the Nook House, which talks about the German immigrants who came over here. We also have Chief's House. We talk about the Wabash-Erie Canal that the German immigrants came over on. We have the Miami area, which is we call the Wigwam, and they talk about the Miami Indians, the way of life, how they came here, what they did, how they lived, how they survived. We have a group of volunteers. We call them the Monday Crew. They come in on Mondays, and there are, I'm not sure, it can be anywhere, I think from 10 to 15 people who work on the grounds doing different things.
Down here at the Forks of the Wabash, this is an heirloom garden. They're right behind me, and they're all heirloom plants. And then we also have a prairie garden here. It's full of prairie plants. We have a woodland garden over there that's just full of woodland plants. And you know, different areas have different plants, and that's how we decide what to plant in there. We try to help the community with community gardens also. We do offer suggestions, and we help them get things going and try to beautify different places around the community. We have Master Gardener classes about every 2 years. If you'd like to become a Master Gardener, you have to go through the Purdue University. You have, I think it's like 45 hours of education classes. And then when you're done with that and you've graduated, you get to volunteer for 35 hours.
We have many students from Huntington University who come and volunteer. Just this past weekend, we had students from the university for fall cleanup. In the spring, when the freshmen come to the university, they have an organization called Plunge, And they sent quite a few students out, and they helped clean the buildings, the cobwebs, clean the windows, the dirty floors, and they are really good workers, and we really appreciate all the help that they do. I mentioned the board of directors. They're all volunteer. We have a president, vice president, secretary, and treasurer. Then we also have 20 other members on the board. They are responsible for helping to carry out like Christmas at the Forks or like the Halloween event that we had this year. And in the summertime we have Senior Day. We have several different things going on different times of the year.
Money is always a problem, and it will forever be because the site takes maintenance. I remember when we first started, the city of Huntington offered us $100,000 in matching funds.
We also have someone who writes grants to get money to implement, help pay for the different programs that we have here. In fact, we just had received a large grant from the state to build a suspension bridge to Ayler Island, which is, we are trying to clear that ground for different activities.
And it's not only money, but it's time. And so we have a lot of artists that have donated their time and expertise. It's been an exciting journey, and it's still going on.